Clarissa Shields has been in the news now, mainly because of her relationship with what's his name, Remy Ma's guy, Papoose. Is it Papoose? Yeah, Papoose. So Clarissa Shields is now dating Papoose. I've seen her in the news because her and Remy Ma are going back and forth and shit. Standard shit, you know, standard like group chat, standard like public group chat shit that we don't need to know about. So whatever, let them deal with it. But I thought this clip was very interesting from her appearance on some podcast where they ask her about her relationship with money and her family and shit. And this kind of piggybacks off of what I said previously or the topic I covered about what Leomi Anderson was speaking about, right? She tweeted recently this tweet, which I thought was very interesting to kind of talk about in a pod, where she says, money is actually triggering topic for me. I've grown so sensitive to it over the past 2 years because the way my family thinks I'm a bank is so insane to me and literally angers my spirit. I legit have to count to 10 before responding back sometimes. Again, money is actually triggering topic for me. I've grown so sensitive to it over the past 2 years because the way my family thinks I'm a bank is so insane to me and literally angers my spirit. I legit have to count to 10 before responding back sometimes. And I, spoke about it and how I'm a bit conflicted. I can see both sides, but I think the Clarissa Shields video here really, really, really puts it into perspective. And it's really sad. It's really sad and puts it in perspective and makes you think, God almighty, man. Having money and being from, a black family and having a big family must be its own type of I wouldn't say hell, but it sounds very difficult. If you become super successful and you're the only person, it sounds like its own challenge to deal with and how to handle it appropriately without falling out with everybody. Because what Clarissa Shields says in this interview, it's fucking wild.
People say it's lonely at the top, but damn, this lonely?
Claressa, you got more fame and more money than you ever have in your life. How's your family dealing with that?
Sadly, I have, and it's not just from family and close, but it's close friends who I grew up with. Some people I never thought I'd be living my life without. Listen, I done bought every last one of my siblings a car.
Really?
Bought my mama a house, my mama 2 cars, my daddy a car, help him with his bills, help mama with her bills, help my sister take care of her 3 kids. Her 3 kids live with me. I go there, sit with the teachers, go to teacher conferences. I do all this stuff. And it seemed like the more you do, the more that they don't like you.
Right.
I overlooked how much my sister, started disliking me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. Jesus. I never done nothing to her. I don't want to get emotional, you know what I'm saying? But me and my sister got the same mama and same daddy, and we grew up together. And, she just, you work so hard to make all this money and to have a good life for yourself, and then the people who you want to share it with, they just change on you.
Jesus Christ.
And it's hurtful because people say it's lonely at the top, but damn, this lonely, you know what I'm saying? People shouldn't feel like because I work my butt off that they deserve my money and they deserve my time and they deserve to tell me who I can and can't hang around and they can be so entitled. Family shouldn't be like that. Now all of a sudden, I'm the bad person, but I wasn't a bad person when I was doing backflips for you. I didn't have no boundaries. You can talk to me how you want to talk to me. You can trigger me. You can make me cry. You can mess up fights. You can do all this stuff. Soon as I tell you no to something, I can buy you a car, put you in a house, pay all your bills.
It ain't enough.
People don't want what you give them. They want what you have.
Say that again.
People don't want what you give them. They want what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And that there you can't have. You can't have what I done worked hard for.
That is crazy, isn't it? That is fucking crazy. Fell out with her sister essentially because she said no once and her sister held a grudge. Or most likely what happened, as someone else previously said about the lending money thing, I think people have, smarter people have said this before, that if you ask somebody for money or if you lend a friend money, also accept or anticipate that you may lose that friend forever. Right? But I think somebody also said, I think in the stream chat once, that every time you ask somebody for money, that person's, every time they're going to build resentment for you because they are upset secretly or probably unconsciously, they're upset that they're even in a position where they have to ask you for money. Because usually when people ask you for money, they need it. That's the really distressing thing about it. Very rarely do people ask you for money just so they can buy drugs or hang out and shit. No, they need it. They need it. They're down bad. They need the money. They need you to help them. So it probably is even harder to say no because you know they need it. But sometimes you have to say no, because if you don't, they're going to think you have unlimited resources. But then I think to myself, I wonder if people like this actually do think that, though. They do think that if you're put in a position where you're, because imagine, she's Clarissa Shields, right? She's a world famous boxer, champion, killer. So she's the fortunate one in her family to make it in a big way. That's a problem as well, because usually in families, no one really makes it, right? Usually, because no one really makes it in general, because, you know, these higher levels of success and whatever, and fame, whatever you are in your field, these are hard to obtain. Not everyone can get there. So not everybody in families makes it anyway. But why is it when someone does make it, they make it in the most biggest way? It's never like some minor making it. It's never, oh, this guy just has like a really good job. No, it's always like, no, this guy's a CEO. This person's the area manager. This person's the fucking global coordinator. This, it's not just some, oh yeah, this person's got a full-time. No. You're the highest of the highest. So maybe because of that, they feel like you're like a blessing for the family. I'm trying to anticipate, I'm trying to understand it from the side of the person who's like entitled and expecting and greedy and whatever, right? I think that person thinks you're like a blessing to the overall family, and it's you've been put in a position and it's your fucking role to give now, because God has kind of granted you this special grace, this luck, this talent, this acumen, this work ethic, right? This drive, this grit, this determination, intelligence, understanding, whatever. You've been granted that so that you can now take your whole family out of poverty, which is insane to me, to be honest. To be responsible for your whole entire family is wild. One person is fucking insane. It may be you should help put people in positions to help them pull themselves out, right? As you were put in position because you got the job, or you invented something, or you're really good at sports, that put in position to help yourself get out. But to have one person be responsible for pulling everybody out is wild. And I think it works in America because Americans get paid more than we do anyway, in general, across the board. Like, I've worked in marketing, I've worked in social media. My last job that I got fired from was working as a customer support, right? Online customer support, customer services. And at that job, I think I was on like 27,000 a year. But I think in that particular role, doing customer support online for like a well-established company or brand, you could probably get 30,000 a year in America for that role, I'm assuming. You could probably get 35,000, 40,000. So if regular jobs pay way better than UK jobs, because I remember even when I used to be a social media manager or like a marketing manager, the most I ever got for those roles was like 35 grand a year. And I've seen roles as a social media manager in America for 50K. So I can only imagine if they're paying employees who work in companies 2 times what maybe we get paid in the UK as a salary, I can only imagine how much more money athletes get, celebrities, media figures. It must be crazy, because that's the only way that makes sense how she could support her whole family. Because how can a female boxer, have the ability to buy everybody cars, everybody houses, and still be okay? That must mean she gets paid a lot. But because she gets paid a lot, that doesn't fucking mean that they're entitled to it, you know? That's the wild shit. Because she gets paid a lot for her talent, a lot for her craft, a lot for her skill, they somehow think like, oh yeah, that's too much. You should spend on other people. No, why should I? My immediate family, yeah, but why should I spend on everybody else? Why? It's just like a different level of a job scale. Some jobs pay poorly, some jobs pay really well. It doesn't mean because it pays really well that I have to now give away all my money. That's not how it works. But in black communities, that's a bit it's a bit difficult. It's a bit difficult and different. And I have to be honest, I sometimes feel as if maybe I lean towards the side of maybe if you are blessed in that way, you should be responsible for getting your people right. I sometimes feel that way because it is one of those things that doesn't happen to everybody. Not everybody can be a streamer. Not everybody can be a footballer, actor, influencer, whatever, athlete. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone can have a successful business, can have, can ascend the corporate ladder, can become a partner at their law firm, all this. Not everyone does that. So if you do that and you're from humble beginnings and you have family back home that are hurting, why shouldn't you help them? But I don't like the expecting. I don't like the people who then, when you say no to something, they immediately hate you. Because you're allowed to say no. You should be allowed to say no. You should be. Like what? How many? And also, or maybe request. Maybe limit your request. How many times can you request money from me per month? If you requested money from me 5 times a month, and I gave you money 3 of those times, I gave you 5 grand. What the fuck are you doing with the money that I've given you? I've given you 15 grand this month, and now you need more. What have you done with the 15 grand I've given you? You know? But then you also don't want to be that person that's asking people what they're doing with the money, because you sound a bit nuts. I mean, you sound like a loan shark, or I don't know. It sounds icky, you know? When you're like telling people like you should either give freely or don't give at all. But you shouldn't be giving asking. You know what I mean? That's how you should do it, I think. But I can only imagine how it feels to her, because she fell out with her sister, bro. She fell out with her blood sister over this, and most likely just because she said no one time. She fell out with her blood sister just because she said no one time. Her sister doesn't talk to her no more. And you know, black people and our grudges. You know, black people and our grudges, family grudges, they probably don't speak to each other anymore. That's a really heartbreaking side of it. So yeah. Big up everybody in the stream chat. Yeah, big up Young of As I Relate. Your money is their money, and their money is there, and there is no ceiling. Yeah, exactly. Your money is their money, and there is no ceiling. Exactly, which is fucking incredible, isn't it? Really, it's fucking incredible. People can think like that. That to be that entitled, is fucking crazy. I don't want to parent adults. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. But unfortunately, some people do need parenting. Some adults do need blood clot parenting.